and all I am is a guy who likes the books. Just a regular guy who liked the books. I don't claim to be nothing more, nothing less. Just a guy who likes the books with a pretty good memory on how things were, and then as a writer who believes in as accurate an adaptation as possible. I do not believe in this stance, this position that you can't make an accurate adaptation. Grump, do you think that books, when something is adapted, how close do you think it should be adapted when it gets to screen?
As close as possible.
Yes.
And there ain't been many examples, but when it's done, Lord of the Rings, it seemed to become a classic that never stops being a classic.
Exactly. There's a reason something is called a classic. The reason something is timeless, because it holds up. And there's a reason it garners large fan bases. So logic would dictate. I mean, would you agree? Logic would dictate, if you're going to not only bring in the fans that exist, but maybe create new fans, you would stick as close as possible to the source material.
You definitely want to at least have the bulk, if not all, of the original fans. I would think that just seems to make sense to me. Lord of the Rings did. It brought every Lord of the Ring fan, and then it made new Lord of the Ring fans.
Yeah. I mean, I was never a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan. I was just a guy who tried to read the books as a youth, and because of Tolkien's writing style, I couldn't get through it as a young man. So, but of course I knew of it. I knew what happened. I watched the old 70s cartoons. I knew the story. The wearer of the ring is the bearer of the ring. You know, those songs that are like earworms in your head when you hear them. They just don't go away. That orc song, oh God, it's almost there. I've pushed it back far enough that I can't call it up easily. But you know what I'm talking about. So I knew it. But you're exactly right. Peter Jackson did as faithful an adaptation as he could. He got it as close as he could. And if a guy like Gary from Nerdrotic says it's beautiful, greatest movie of all time, who is a hardcore Lord of the Rings fan, if Gary from Nerdrotic says, then that gets a stamp of approval. And you know you're watching something of integrity. Now, a lot of people shit on The Hobbit. I happen to like The Hobbit. I enjoyed for what it is. I'm CGI blind to an extent, so a lot of its CGI-ness doesn't really bug me. And I complained in the beginning when they said, how are you going to stretch one story over 3 movies? But I'm okay with it. I just kind of like to watch the whole thing. I'll watch all 6 of them back to back. I will do that given a day. I will do it. But if you're going to adapt something, there's no reason not to get as close to it as possible. Because if it is good and if it's as good as it's supposed to be, how would it not sing its wonderful song and capture the imagination of the normies who might come in? But no, we live in this weird world where there is a belief out there that you have to change something. You have to adapt something to make it appealing to the regular crowd. You have to have it go at a certain pace, has to behave a certain way. Otherwise, they'll be lost. Well, you know what that is? That's exactly what we were talking about in the last segment, where these people are out of touch. They do not understand that people, they think we're all stupid. They think we're all stupid. So they treat us like we're stupid, and they make stuff to come at us like we're stupid. And there is how we get Wheel of Time stuff. And that's why I'm starting this particular segment with this up here. We're going to go with it until I maybe find something else as we go through. But that's why you get this stuff on the shill places like Shill Rant. They write these articles that treat you like an idiot to explain things. Wheel of Time's Emerald Seed explained, who is the Aes Sedai leader? Well, that ain't her, because she's been race swapped. That ain't Suyin Sanch. She's been race swapped. Wheel of Time, why Perrin's eyes turned yellow, wolf powers explained. You know, maybe you wouldn't need to actually do this stuff. Maybe I'll give Showrand a break. Maybe they wouldn't actually have to do something like this if the show explained things to us.
You shouldn't have to go to an offsite to learn what's in the damn show.
You shouldn't have to read supplementary material to learn what's in the show. I saw an article I don't remember where it was, and it would be boomerang too much to try and find it right now. There was an article, maybe it was here on Show Rant, maybe it was on CBR, I don't know, telling you how when you're watching the Wheel of Time on Amazon, if you scroll over one thing, you'll get the lore explanation. And it's like, you shouldn't have to click on the show to go someplace else to have the lore explained to you. If the show is being done properly, the lore should be woven into the dialogue, should be done with well-placed flashbacks to explain to you these things. I said it in my review for episode 5 this week. They show you Dragonmount behind Tar Valon. They haven't said the word Dragonmount once, and all they say is, I feel an attachment to that mountain. I feel like I've been there. Hey, because that's where you were born, asshole. Born on the slopes of Dragonmount. Randall Thor. They also haven't even, I just realized, as we go, we realize the kind of things they haven't mentioned. They haven't even mentioned the Isles Revenge War for the killing of the Tree of Life. I can't remember. It's Avendizora. I can't remember. It was one of, God damn it, Jordan, you were a genius, but why'd you have to make things so goddamn hard to pronounce? I work hard. I mean, I have stuff where I pronounced, where I make up names that mean a little pronouncing, but good Lord, the man works hard. And exactly where he born and where he died. So they haven't explained anything in the show. And that's why this show is such a failure, because they keep throwing all this stuff out. And they require shill rant articles like this to explain stuff. Let's keep going. Let's keep going down. How Logain's laugh hint at the show's biggest reveal. I have had people reminding me in the comments of that Logain could see ta'veren. I had forgotten that. That's something I had forgotten. It slipped my mind. Maybe because I was speed reading my last time. I missed that little part. But Logain can see ta'veren, and we'll get more of that when Logain becomes more prominent in the books. When the Black Tower is formed. And the Ashaman, somebody said it earlier, the Ashaman come around. But no, all you get is this weird psychedelic moment where he laughs supposedly at Mat, because the show is trying to convince you that anybody can be the Dragon Reborn. They're trying to convince you that Mat can channel and everything's channel, when they haven't even shown the dagger now. You didn't see the dagger, the cursed dagger, once. The ruby dagger didn't show up once in this last episode. Not once. And part of the thing is Mat is constantly fondling it like his Wang in the book. He's got his hands on that thing constantly like a horny 90s teenager watching Skinamax at midnight. I'm talking from experience.
We probably got some young whippersnappers in here that don't know what Skinamax is.
DJ Grom, you are right. This is the Egwene show featuring Nynaeve. It is the Egwene show, because you notice I brought it up in my review. How many 3 times I clocked Egwene getting talked up at how great she is and how strong she is, and then herself, she's the one that saves Perrin. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was Perrin that saved her when they were attempting their initial escape in Eye of the World from the White Cloaks. And then they failed to escape. It required a character called Elias, who is not in this series, a veteran wolf brother. And then Lon and Nynaeve show up in the books to help rescue Perrin and Egwene. But no, we're not going to get anything like that, because then we get this. Steppen. What was this? You know what this was? I said it in my review. This was nothing but ripping men and propping up women. Steppen's whole fake fan fiction episode arc was all about making men look weepy. And so we could get Lon crying. Lon Mandragoran. Crying. that alone proves I don't think anybody in charge of this show read the books. Rafe Judkins can claim all he wants that he read the books. I don't think he read these books at all.
I'm wondering if he knows how to read.
Oh, I wonder
At
if
this
any people know
point.
how to read. No, they can probably read the side of their drug, their like pill bottles. They have to read because they have to read their pill bottle labels.
No,
Yeah.
they pay somebody to do it for them.
Which Aes Sedai color Nynaeve will pick and why it matters.
I'm just waiting for the dragon to come out as some
Oh, it's going to be Egwene.
oversized woman of color.
It's going to be Egwene. I am saying they're going to make Egwene the dragon because we have gotten do we know anything about Rand in this show other than he comes from Two Rivers and he's a sheep herder? Do we know anything about Rand?
It is just me. I haven't read the books or watched the show, and I'm going to predict that it's going to be a diverse female of color.
It's going to be a woman
that's going to become the dragon.
Well,
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right.
There's only 5 choices in this show. There should only actually be 3 choices in the lore. Up until the end of the Eye of the World, there were 3 choices. Then after that, we knew who it was. No, but in this show, there's 5 because a woman could be the Dragon Reborn. A woman could be Dragon Reborn. But it breaks the lore in that way. But then I think it's going to be Egwene. I'm putting it out there.
If I'm wrong, ever too. Is she's going to be the bestest dragon ever.
Oh, because you noticed if you've watched the dialogue, they have mentioned that there have been other dragons in the past. No, Lewis Theron was the only person to have the title, the dragon. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, Moiraine suspected. She suspected from the beginning, but she couldn't be confirmed. It wasn't confirmed until she didn't lock it until the very end. And that's why then we're going to get into the Great Hunt, and I can't even go that far yet. I'm not going to go that far. But it's just it's good, DJ Rob. Louise Theron Delamon. Have they even said Lewis Theron yet? Can somebody? I might be blocking out some of the dialogue because this shit's moving. As good as memory is, I think I'm already starting to push it out of my brain. Have they even mentioned Lewis Theron yet in the show? Have they?
"15 seconds later.
Oh, no, we're back.
Okay. I was going to say, you kind of went a little still there for a second.
Oh, I went pixel. I went still. Okay. I guess yeah, my connection went out there for a second. It looks like my connection's pretty damn good. But once I'm monetized, I think I am going to upgrade my internet to the next level just to make sure I don't lag out. What was the last thing I said? Louise Theron. Now, has anybody heard the name Lewis Theron in this show yet?
OBG70 says by name, no.
That opening credit sequence, K-Ja, of the Wheel of Time, it shows you all you need to know about this show. The first time I saw it, where all it showed you were the female Aes Sedai and their colors. It's all weaving their pattern in the wheel. When you see that, that's all you need to know what you're getting into. So, again, I don't think, has anybody said it? The chat's moving a little faster than normal does because we got more people than usual here talking, and I love it. Welcome aboard. Glad you're all here. I haven't heard the name Lewis Theron mentioned at all.
I've seen 2 people say no mention of them.
No mention. All right. Thank you, Grum, for keeping track of that because I'm going back and forth between the screens here. So they've mentioned the dragon. They haven't even mentioned Lewis Theron. They have now in this last episode, they first mentioned the Forsaken, sort of who they were. They mentioned Ishmael. Man, wouldn't it would have been so much cooler. And did I say this last week? I think I wanted to, either last week or another review, how this all should have started and how it would have set the tone. And somebody even said it in a comment of the video the past couple of days. This show, if they had wanted to do it properly, should have started with the actual prologue from Eye of the World, with Lews Therin losing his mind, being confronted by Ishmael, and then creating Dragonmount. How freaking cool would it have been to have Dragonmount rise up in front of you on the screen so you know what it is and you know what it means? Not first coming to Tar Valon, which doesn't happen in the books now, which is why I call this Wheel of Fan Fiction for this stream. And nobody even says Dragonmount. Nobody even says Dragonmount in this show. Exactly.
Yep.
The Dark One is the father of lies. The Dark One, you're exactly right, Striker Nightfall. But remember, they didn't actually read the books. They read a Wikipedia. They went to the Wheel of Time wiki fandom and they read the stuff before they started writing this.
I don't even think they went to the wiki. That would have been too much like work. Like I said, they got to learn to read first. And that's in words. They can't just watch a video.
So this is what we get. Oh, I'm going to click on this because we got to talk about this. Oh my God.
What they live in hell.
Look at this. I mean, you guys warned me a week ago. Somebody warned me and I said I hadn't looked yet. I wanted to see it. But I didn't want to see. I knew Loial was coming. I wanted a fresh response when I saw it. And oh my God, what is this? First of all, nice acne on your nose. Let's give him acne all over his nose, acne scars. Talk about the hair, the nose. The only thing they got right were the sausage fingers. That's the only thing they got right. And I showed you in the video. You know what? Here, let me go out for this for a second. Damn it. Let me go out for this for a second and let me bring up let me bring up the Loial stuff that I brought up there. Hunt.
Yeah, OBG70's been saying some pretty good stuff in there. Yep, every decision goes through leftist bullshit agendas. I learned that when I was in politics a lot stronger since 98 till now. So most all of this stuff has already hit that filter long before it hit anybody else's.
That's Loial, guys, right there. You have it on the cover art, the original cover art of The Great Hunt. There he is right there. Boom. That's Rand. That's Rand. And we know, I'm not going to say that it is because that's spoilers. That's spoilers. I'm not going to spoil that. But there it is right there.
Patron's got it.
That hair. Well, here's Loial's hair. He's just got a nice clean cut, raked back, combed back, got the ears. What the hell?
That's what made me laugh right off the bat was the hair.
And the ears are wrong too. You can see they didn't even bother to do the ears. Let's give him a nose he doesn't have. I mean, you can see it. His nose, that looks like a regular dude nose right there. That's a regular humanoid nose. It's not big and flat. Let's give him let's give him basically a racist black man flat nose, oversized, covered in acne scars. Let's give him facial hair, which of course, as a young Ogier, Loial does not have facial hair yet. He doesn't have it yet. And then let's give him Jerry curl perm and not even bother with the ears and have him completely out of character in his behavior. This is a guy in this version walking around like he's got confidence. This Loial does not have confidence. He is not a confident character in the beginning of the story because he's run away from home. He hasn't had too much contact with people, and he only has his book learning.
In other words, he's not Loial.
He's not. This guy.
I mean, you just said he don't look like him, he don't act like him, he don't think like him,
and
he don't talk like him.
I don't know. Is that a black man? That is not a black man. That's a white dude. What I mean, so you get this, and I asked this in my video, and the stands. I ask you to look at this. If you claim you are a fan of this show, if you claim you love it, if you claim that this abomination has the faith and spirit of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, how can you accept this? How can you accept this? I mean, if this was something you loved, Grump, and they took a character and they did it to this, and for a moment, let's just say for argument's sake, you had been defending something to the best of your ability, and then this happened, would this push you off the defense boat?
It probably would have happened a long time
Yeah,
before.
we got to think.
If I made it to this
Argument's
point,
sake, yeah.
just looking at those two pictures, it wouldn't have been pretty because I get loud.
I mean, DJ Grom, you're absolutely right. An Ogier's ears is one of his defining traits to see his mood. They're constantly in the book. Loial's ears droop depending on it. They shift depending on his mood. So, I mean, and it should be, because it's not. Did they even bother to look at the original cover art of the original Great Hunt book, where we first get an actual physical representation of him?
So what you're saying, like his ears are actually like mood detectors. They're actually a part of the book, important part.
When he's sad, when he's sad or upset or he's not feeling, they will droop. His ears will droop. They will droop. Yet here, those are regular humanoid ears right there.
If you can even see him.
Well, yeah, you can see him if you're watching it. Grump is not my guest. He is my co-host. He is my co-host on this show, Yoshiki. He is here for the duration. He is my co-host. And hopefully we'll get more co-hosts. No, Grump is here. You will see him every week.
Yeah, y'all got to put up with this ugly mug right here forever.
Yeah, so
deal with it.
Grump is here for the duration. You guys will see him every week going forward. He has passed his test as guest host. He is sticking around. So you see this, and I ask any single stan, how can you possibly defend this show as faithful, as spiritual to the actual lore? How can you do this?
Yeah, anytime I bust out laughing, just look at the chat.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to keep my eyes on this. I can't. I have to keep focused. You guys will distract me. You guys are chat. You guys are great. You guys are my irregulars. Legatus coined that a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna run with that. You guys are the irregulars, and I love you guys already. I love it. You come out in my comments. I love it that you're here. You guys make the show fun, and you guys, I'm here to earn your trust and support. That's what we're doing all this, to earn trust and support. So you get all this shit. So this thing, and then this should be how Lon looks all the time right there. That should be his expression all the time. I'm here to piss on your day expression. I am here to ruin your day because I'm Lon Mandragoran, and I am a stone-faced badass. You don't know what I'm thinking. I never show emotion. And yes, in the books, he is in love with Nynaeve. You know this by the end of Eye of the World, because a lot of time takes place and you get a lot of interaction between them. Not just she sat at his cook fire for a month and we had 2 scenes where they talked about spirituality. And now she feels emotion when she watches him cry at a funeral. That's how she falls in love with him. No, she falls in love with the stoic badass who is fighting a war he knows he cannot win. That's who she falls on, not Mr. Cry. I don't have it anymore because, I don't have those screen caps anymore. They are gone. And you notice they haven't showed shouting, crying Lon in any of this stuff. They haven't shown that because it's, and bottom line, that's where we come to this whole episode was, as I started to say earlier, and I think I got sidetracked bitching about this shit. This whole episode is nothing but an attempt to, let's leave it on Sad Warden. because he is the poster boy. Maybe Crying Lon's in here. I didn't look at this one yet. No, let's leave it on Sad Warden, who doesn't really exist. I mean, I don't remember this dude in the books. Anybody? I don't remember this dude in the books. I don't remember him. Then again, we don't meet a lot of wardens in the book. We pass by them. We encounter them during Egwene and Nynaeve and Elaine's training at the White Tower. Oh yeah, they actually go to the White Tower, just not in the way they have here. But we don't actually meet a whole hell of a lot of wardens like Lon. Lon is the only warden who is front and center all the time, who is a part of our group, who we know what he's thinking. And very rarely do we actually get behind his eyes. We are very rarely actually in Lon's head in the early books. This whole thing, Stepin's whole thing, I said it before, and I'm going to try and push through here to this part. It's simply an exercise in men are weak. The flip of men are now behaving like women. I remember in the episode when you got Alana's too. Now Alana's wardens are suddenly gay out of nowhere. I mean, it's just, again, that's not book. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not book faithful. Nowhere in the books do they say the wardens have threesomes with their Green Aes Sedai. Even though, the Greens are sexual by nature a lot. The Greens are sexual. It's just this whole thing is all about flipping the table. Because remember when they're dressing him for his ring funeral ceremony, they're dressing him and they're talking like catty women in a nail salon. Somebody tell me I'm wrong with that breakdown of that. I don't think I am. Exactly. Lon is the Chad of Chads in the Wheel of Time. He is based to everything. I mean, when you get to the end, in the last couple of books, when Lon, and light spoilers, I'm not going to get too detailed, but light spoilers, in books 13 and 14, when Lon is broken off on his own, what he is doing there, his whole arc, his final arc before the last battle, it is the arc of the ultimate badass. Basically, I am a single man. I am walking across the world, the known world, and I am rallying an army behind me. How badass is that? That is what a man does. That's what a hero does. In Amazon's Lord of the Rings, no, we're going to talk like catty women in a nail salon. We're going to cry. We're going to whimper all the time. We're going to bow and scrape constantly. Every time Lon goes see Moiraine, he always gets on one knee and grabs her hand. Always gets on one knee and grabs her hand. Yeah, imagine if they actually were telling the actual Wheel of Time. Imagine what we'd be getting. If they were telling the actual Wheel of Time, if they gave it an appropriate number of episodes, give it 15 to 20 episodes to tell the Isle of the World. This show should have been 14 seasons. I'm not talking about New Spring. I'm talking about Eye of the World to A Memory of Light. If they had been 14 seasons, 15 to 20 episodes per season, one book per season. Well, maybe you could have pushed together books 10 and 11 because book 10 is a snore fest. I hate book 10. I hate Crossroads of Twilight. That's the only book I really truly hate because nothing happens for 645 pages. Nothing happens.
Other than you turning the page. Does that count?
I will kick you. I will kick you. I will kick you. Dad jokes like that, you will get it. I will kick you for a dad joke like that. Should have been.
I was just looking up some stuff. That the IP for Wheel of Time has changed hands a whole lot.
Really?
There's a reason.
Well, since Robert Jordan died, I assume.
Piss on it.
Since Robert Jordan died, I assume.
Oh, it was already changed hands before he died, and it passed on through different studios. And
you mean for adaptation
from Sony
purposes.
To now Amazon or something. Because I got curious, how the heck did it get in Amazon's hand? Because I was really trying to see if they bought the book rights too, because they're not above going in and changing stuff in the book later down the line.
Of course not. Not if they can mold it to their narrative agenda, which this show is. This show is nothing but narrative agenda. I don't know. My memory tells me I think somebody tried once, and it was an utter disaster before the technology could keep up with that kind of stuff. You should have 14 books. 14 seasons, 1 book per season, maybe 13 seasons, combined books 10 and 11, because like I said, book 10 sucked.
Oh, yes, there was a game.
Yet here we go. Do you have any images for it?
Give me a second.
Bring it up. Yeah, bring it up, and I'll put that up. Yeah, see what you can find it. I'd like to see that. My memory tells me there was, but I've never seen it. So if you can find it, bring it up. We'll pull it up. They shouldn't have had any problem filling out a season. No, we had a rush season. This thing's only 8 episodes? I believe it's only 8 episodes. They have rushed things, yet we're going to take an entire episode to see Sad Warden. Sad Warden, who's not a real character. Sad Warden about events that never happened. Sad Warden who exists solely to make men into women. And then kill himself like a sad woman. Again, I was pretty much on the ball that, yes, we all know that if you're familiar with the lore, when an Aes Sedai dies before her warden, the warden cannot survive without a bond, because that's how deep it was. He will die eventually, and unless he's bonded again. But there's a reason they don't die like that, because most wardens, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, a warden will then march off to the Blight and try and take as many Myrddraal and Trollocs as he can with him before he dies. That's what wardens do when their bond is broken, if they choose not to get rebonded. That's what happens. But no, in this one, Sad Warden is going to have a meltdown. He's going to mope about. He's going to be taken care of by the other wardens, like women would take care of other women in mourning. And then he's going to kill himself in a sad and pathetic way, all so that they can break Lon's character and turn him into a woman, having him man cry over the dead body. Now, there's nothing wrong with man crying in fantasy situations when your beloved companion, your blood brother, your brother in arms has just died in your arms in the middle of a battle. I've done that kind of shit too, but it matters. There is zero reason to be connected to Sad Warden and Lon in this moment. There's no reason whatsoever, but this is SJW writing. Thanks for watching, everybody. I don't do Facebook. I will never do Twitter. If you want to reach out to me, just email me. It's purely for this channel. I will not miss your communication. Check me out at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS. Join me in conversations there, among many others. And I'm now on Odyssey @The Renaissance Nerd. Follow me there as well. Help us keep fighting to return escapism to entertainment. Thank you again for watching. See you next time.